Hello and welcome along to another episode from this FM20 story with Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 13, episode 7, and today we finish our second Premier League season against Derby, go into Pride Park to face the side that just secured their survival, and we've got some good news on the cards. We have completed our second top half finish in a row. They both look like they're going to be 10th place, but it's top half nonetheless. And it's another very solid season as we've recovered towards the end of the campaign. So we'll go and have a look at our recent results today. We'll go and face Derby. And of course, we'll have a brief look at some of the lads we're going to give a chance to today as well. That in turn means the rest of this week is going to be a big one from this series. The end of season review on Wednesday, and on Friday a summer transfer special. I can't wait to get started. I feel like this summer is the one. There's a little bit of talk about a consortium which could put a complete spanner in the works. But otherwise, I feel this is the year we jump from safety to can we go and push for that European place. We're only 4 points off it this year, to be fair. 7th place getting us the Europa League 2 probably. Or maybe we can go on a cup run next year. We'll wait and see on that. But we've got to make sure we're not on our holidays today. We've still got one more game and we can better last year's finish and go 9th if we better Newcastle's result. Depending on goal difference, of course, due to that 9-0 defeat earlier this season. But firstly, if you are looking forward to this episode and you've enjoyed another season with Dorking Wanderers, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the content. We've had action this week from our new club in the head coach, the start of our live stream series on Tuesday mornings, Cricket 19 continuing with a new career 2 times a week. And the Stadium Review series continuing every Sunday, of course. But tomorrow we'll be back with our live stream series for the second episode with Burnley. It's the Youth Academy Challenge, so please do pop along if you can. Just to say hello, if you're struggling, if you want to have a chat, then pop in and get involved in a community. It's always a good bit of fun. And I really hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But let's go and talk about Dorking Wanderers. We obviously had the youth intake last time, which was a bit of a pleasant surprise. And the lads have done something else as well. They've not just gone and been a decent side, they have then won the Division 3 Under-18 division. It's a fantastic achievement. We're in the South East division and you can see we've won it by 3 points. So Dorking Wanderers starting to make waves. And that shows that our youth intakes are getting better. And we talk as well about Grant Jutkovic, who came in last episode. He's going to be on the bench today. And we've also got the youngster Mark Turner. We talked about him and his potential has now gone up to 3-star from 2.5. And his ability's going up very quickly. So I'm quite happy with him and I think he might be the surprise of the season. So if we can, we're going to get him on the bench as well. But I don't want to push it too much early on. Let's go and have a look at the schedule to see what the recent results have been. And you can see that bad run that continued against Leicester went on for one more game against Chelsea. It was a 2-1 defeat courtesy of a Ben Barrett own goal. Ryan Lima did open the scoring for us, but we just weren't able to hang on. A much better performance though, and that's been backed up with 4 unbeaten. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a winner against Newcastle. That would have put us in 9th going into today. But we did win the other 3. So 1-0 against West Ham, Jeff Coppens with a winner in the last 20, a 0-0 draw at home to Newcastle, 2-1 win away to Reading, Ryan Lima and Mitchell Baker on the score sheet. I'm really worried about Mitchell Baker. When he goes, what do we replace him with? He's such a good player at this level and Chelsea will not sell him for love nor money. And then last time out against Middlesbrough, a comfortable 2-0 win. Jeff Coppens with both to take his tally to 5 in 12. A really good start now for the Wonder Kid and starting to look like a proper professional player. So I'm hoping over the next year he'll become a superstar and maybe get one more against Derby today. But let's go and get into it. Things looking good. We still, unfortunately, can't request to improve the training facilities. We have tried a couple of tricks, and thank you again for your suggestions in the comments. And the dynamics also looking good if I go to the right place. The dressing room atmosphere back to excellent, almost perfect there, and the managerial support the same way. Daniel Gilroy wants to leave, and he will be this summer. There's your sneak preview to our end of season review. But let's go and get this final game out the way, and see if we can better last year's 10th place finish. So you can see both teams in inconsistent form, but ours has been far better the last 4 games. Derby won 2 of their last 5. It's not disastrous. And it's enough to keep them in the Premier League, so I'm sure they won't mind too much. Pride Park's almost sold out, as we've got an injury to Jack Walker. So that will help us get that young centre-half on the bench. Peter McLaughlin came off the bench last time. He'll come back into the first 11. Aaron White struggled a bit recently. I'm wondering whether to bring Davila in, because he's been improving in training. Balic has been coming off the bench and not really making an impression. So do you know what? Davila can have a start. He's had a tough first season here. He's picked up lots of injuries. And we want to be fair and give him an opportunity. So let's go and see who else we can put on the bench from the under-18s. We've talked about the two lads we want. Mark Turner's a bit tired, but that's not going to stop him. And Jutkovic can come on the bench for... Should we take Gleedel off, who's been there a lot of times this year, or do we take one of the other ones? I think for today, we'll probably take off Balic, just because I know he's going to be a feature next year. Or potentially, do I take off Kane Allen? We don't often use the sub left back, so let's just do that. That leaves us with the following 11 and 18. We will look at some of those youngsters in more detail in the end of year review. If you want to keep up with their progress, what's changed, what we're training them in, how we're mentoring them, etc., then the next episode, the end of season review, is definitely the one for you. But for today, this is our lineup. We've got Stropper in goal, James and Krizek the fullbacks, with Brown coming in alongside Baker at centre half, Boyce and Nunes in central midfield, Lima, McLaughlin and Daviladi attacking midfield 3, and Coppens on his own up front, Prescott having to make do with a place on the bench. It's the final game of the season, there's nothing riding on it, apart from the opportunity to get a highest ever Premier League finish. There's the benefit of giving youngsters a chance, handing out squad numbers for the final game of the season, and 2 more youth debutants could be a very proud moment for us. But let's hope that they'll come on in a winning position. It's another one of those weird formations. We've seen this a few times now. There's almost the 3-3-2, but it's Josh Tymon at left wing back, who we know very well. 3 young regens in central defence. I'm just trying to work out who that is. I recognise that name. Rhian Brewster's up front. They've got Tommy Doyle in the middle, so a few players that we recognise, but not a great deal. It's still largely regens, and you'd expect so 13 years in. But we're going to ask the lads to prove a point, go out where they finished off, so I don't think we listened to Nick Caycott that time. I can't lie, I wasn't paying the most attention in the world. But into the first half we go. It's Derby v Dorking, and let's hope we're able to get a result at County. The Rams have started well on the match stats, even though we haven't seen any highlights yet, but Brewster's changing that now, though McLaughlin's doing his defensive duty brilliantly. To Krizek and now Brown, with the long ball forward towards Coppens. Loses out in the air, falls for Galvao. Into Brewster in 1-on-1, hits the post, the rebound's in, and the defence could not have reacted any slower if they tried. Stropper it down to his right, he couldn't get up in time, and Brewster just ran past the defenders, who are standing and parting away for him. It has been a poor display so far, and unfortunately the lads have got on their holiday a day early. But we've got our first chance now with a free kick. Boyce into the box, headed away with a combination of 2 players, and Brewster can start the counter-attack for Derby now. He's got a man closing him down. It's Lewis James, slides in atrociously. It was an awful attempt at a tackle, and then Brewster just smashes it straight at Stropper, who lets it straight through his hands. His match rating has stayed at a 7, in fact it has dropped now. And I was about to say, that looked like his error, he probably should have stopped that. There's a throw on the right hand side though for Lewis James, into McLaughlin, back to James again, chance to cross and it's blocked to Galvao, who hoofs it clear as far as Krizek. He's got 2 inside him if he can find them, one of them's Carl Boyce, but it wasn't the best pass behind him. Out to James on the right. He's got a chance to take his man on. There's 2 or 3 in there. Coppens is one, loses out and Doyle hacks clear. And Martinez flicks on for Brewster. Oh, this defensive display is atrocious. Brewster's put it in. What on earth is Kyle Brown doing? Mark Turner might be an improvement at this rate. We're going to ask the lads to show some passion, but it's game over. And this sort of display at the end of the year, when there's not really much riding on it, and against the smaller sides, tells me that we need to improve the squad still. They haven't got the mentality. It's 4-0. Oh my word, you're playing a relegation candidate. How on earth are you losing 4-0? We're setting up no differently to normal. In our last 4 games we've been brilliant, and then this comes out the bag. It's 5-0. Oh, we're not on for another 9, are we? What on earth is going on? What have we done wrong here? You've just gone from brilliant form, we come on camera and this happens. It's just embarrassing. I mean, 5-0 at half time. How can you say that's a bit disappointing? I mean, they were awful out there, that's absolutely right. No one's got a really bad rating again. Stropper's made a couple of errors. Kyle Brown at centre-half's been atrocious. I just don't know what to say. Where on earth do these come from? It was the same as the 9-0 against United. We play decently, we do alright, we look solid. And then these come out of nowhere, and these lads are just a bit inconsistent. So in the summer, we will be working hard to improve those defensive areas. At right back, it's probably the weakest area of the team. And at centre-half with Kyle Brown, Jack Walker, they're probably not good enough to be more than subs. We've got a quarter of the game to go. We're going to drop James's duty just so we don't let in any more. Carl Brown's going to be replaced by Mark Turner. He's on for his debut. Gleedel in the middle will replace Nunes. He's going to be a central midfielder on support. That'll be fine. And then Grant Jutkovic will come on. He's going to be replacing Johnny Davila, and he'll be an inside forward on attack, which is what he prefers. They're the 3 changes made. Back in we go. 20 minutes left of what's been an embarrassing performance at Pride Park. Here's Krizek with a throw on the left though. Can we at least get a goal? The fans who have travelled today should be furious. It's Gleedle to Boyce. There's a man over on the right and he finds him. It's Lewis James. Chance to cross. He hasn't done anything defensively. Can he attack a bit better? James into the box. Back to Boyce. No one wants to take responsibility. Put it in. Boyce's cross is blocked. James beats 2. To the byline. Oh, he's come back again. Delivers to Jukovic on his debut. Finally something to celebrate, and that is a good moment. Grant Jukovic off the bench, the regen who came through in the youth intake just a month ago, and he scored on his debut within 10 minutes. Brilliant from him, but the next corner's in for 6. I mean, what is happening? We have conceded 4 headers from set pieces, if I make that right. Definitely 3, possibly 4. What on earth can you say about it? I mean, we've been so defensively solid the last few games, and then this has come out of nowhere. It's a 6-1 defeat at Derby. It's one of those weird end of season results. Our second embarrassing defeat on camera this season. And the last game a few of those will play for the club. I'm so annoyed that that's the way it's finished. I thought we've been in good form the last 4. We'll come back and finish the season well. And to be honest, for the lads to get a payout after that. I know it's been a decent season overall, but that really annoys me. An awful display. We'll run through the press conference very quickly. The lads kept their concentration up. I should have read that one and slated them. But there we go. A 10th place finish, an awful display, and a terrible defeat at Pride Park to go with it. What a way to finish the season. Not better in last season's performance, though we did equal it. 10th place in the Premier League. Certainly no mean feat. We reached the 4th round of the FA Cup and the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, losing out to Premier League opposition both times. And Ryan Lima, despite a poor game today, 16 goals in the Premier League and starting to look like the wonder kid. European Golden Boy award as well, and his attributes continue to improve. So we've now got 3 or 4 current or former wonder kids at the club, and we've just got to get them performing consistently and at a high level for the Premier League whilst improving. But the one thing that's holding us back in that is those training facilities. If we go and have a look at them, they're below average and we can't improve them. The youth recruitment's great, the junior coaching's great, the youth facilities are continuing to improve, and the training facilities just won't happen. I tried the trick in January, I can't remember who it was. Let me go and have a quick look. Who was it we signed? I think it might have been Aaron White, where I said we'd improve the training facilities. Maybe Balic. No, it can't have been Balic because we agreed that ages before. So it was Aaron White and we said we'll improve the training facilities. One of you suggested it in the comments and it just hasn't made a difference. So we'll wait and see if anything changes. But for now, that's still the big frustration of the series. We've got a 50% sell-on for Paul Finlay. He's not done too much there, but if we can get another 125 grand, then why not? It's a fantastic achievement for us. 155 million in the bank. Don't forget, we've got a stadium expansion coming. That will take us up to nearly 20,000 and more like a Premier League ground. And the youth facilities will improve again this summer. But this is the message I'm worried about. Our summer transfer plans and trying to take this club onto the next level could be ruined if there's a takeover in the summer. We're going to have to try and get our work done early. So we're going to go to the scout reports now and try and get deals pre-agreed. After the 9th of June, everything's a little bit up in the air. And at that point, I just want to be selling people. Yes, we might miss out on 1 or 2 brilliant scouted players that come up later in the window. But for now, it's all about making sure we've got a squad here for next season that could compete in the top end of the Premier League. We're definitely not going to be competing for the title or the Champions League. But if we can just sneak up from 10th and 9th to moving into that sort of 7th, 8th, 6th battle and trying to get into the Europa League or the second Europa Conference, then that would certainly be progress next year. As we come into the final 5 months now of the series, we've got to try and start to make progress to that end. But overall, despite the dismay today, a very good season for the club. We fought bravely against relegation and far surpassed that. After the first league matches of the season where we got battered 9-0 at United, and this last one, if you've just watched those two, which I know a few people do, you'll probably think, how on earth have we finished 10th? But I promise you, there were some good moments. I think the win at Everton in December's episode, that was brilliant. We had a 4-0 victory there. And we've had some brilliant displays from Lima, who's been a one-man team at times. But with the Wonder Kids in, I'm very much looking forward to the next season. We'll be back in the next episode to do our end-of-season review. We'll go through our summer transfer plans. We'll try and find a way to get the training facilities done. And then we'll be back on Friday for the big transfer special as we try to progress towards a side that can compete for European places. So if you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this season as well, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think we should be doing this summer. Which people should we be letting go? Which areas of the first 11 should we be improving? We'll talk about it in detail on Wednesday, but it'd be great to get your initial thoughts on that too. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from both of my long-term stories. This one continues every other day, and then we've got the head coach in between. It's our first season at our new club, our first venture abroad, and it seems to have picked up a bit of traction. So thank you so much to those of you that have come along and watched, and I'll put a link to the current season in the eye above if you have missed any of the action. There's also 2 episodes a week from my new Cricket 19 career every Wednesday and Saturday at 1 PM, and then the Stadium Review series continues on Sunday. Yesterday it was Crewe Alexandra, another ground we remember quite fondly, and another club that featured on the channel many moons ago in the FIFA 19 career I did a long way back. And last but not least, we've got our weekly live stream save. It continues every Tuesday at 10 AM. So if you're free tomorrow morning and you want to hang out and have a chat and see a little bit of Football Manager while you're at it, then please do pop along and get involved. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Thank you also for your support over on the podcast channel, which has gone mad the last couple of weeks. We've been really lucky to interview a few former pros over the last couple of months and a couple of current ones as well. So if you are fans of any of the clubs and you can see one of your former or current players there, then please do go and give them a watch. We've got a couple of topical podcasts as well, and all of them have done really well recently too. So thank you so much for your incredible support on the channel and over on there as well. And I hope to see you next time for the end of year review, as we see who's going to survive at this club.